Alright, we are going to make a light shelf in Revit using the Conceptual Mass Modeler. So go ahead and open up Revit and click on New Conceptual Mass down here under Families. And select the Mass RFT, go to Open. And the first thing I'm going to do is change my background here on the View Control bar under Visual Style. You can go to Graphic Display Options, Background, Gradient, and change that to None. You don't have to do this, it's just easier on the video and I kind of prefer it. Now when Revit opens up this template, it's blank, it's just a template. We've got two vertical reference planes here and one horizontal level 1 reference plane. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make an outline for this light shelf that we're going to make. And just to give you an idea of what we're making, here is sort of a abstract version of a very simple design, and I recommend that you start very simple. So here's the building, about 40 by 40, and we are going to run this profile of a light shelf all the way around it. Okay, and then we'll take it into a Revit project and sort of turn it into an actual shelf. Okay, so first things first, go to level 1 in your project browser, zoom in a little bit, go to Reference and Rectangle, and you can select Draw on Work Plane if it isn't already selected. That means it's going to draw on the placement plane. So level 1, so I'm going to left click and drag that guy out and left click. Now it's dimensioning to these listening dimensions are going to the reference plane, and that's the way Revit likes to do things. It likes to attach things to reference planes. But we want to just make this thing 40 by 40, so I'm going to come over here to Modify to stop the rectangle command. And then I'm going to hover over this, and if I tap the Tab key, it will cycle through selection options. And I just want one of the lines, so I'm going to pick that. And look at that, it's already 40, so that works. So now I'm going to tap and pick one of those lines, and that was 44, so I'm going to change that to 40. Okay. And then, because I'm just a little persnickety, I'm going to pick this guy and I'm going to go under the Modify Move option, snap to the middle, move that there, repeat, snap to the middle, and oh, it's a little too close. Let's try that again. Sometimes when it gets a little too close, it's hard to get that snap to work, but there we go. So now we're centered. Next thing, go to your 3D view. So up here in your quick access control bar, you're going to see a little house. Pick it. It's going to take you into a parallel 3D view. I'm going to scroll my middle mouse wheel to zoom in on this guy. Now we need a profile to sweep around this. In order to get that profile to sweep around this, we need to place that profile on a point that's hosted on this path. So I'm going to come up here to Draw, pick Point Element, and I'm going to hover over that until you can see that the point is quite large. But when you hover over something and it turns small, that means it's hosting to that. So I'm going to left click, and the point's going to disappear just to annoy us all, and I'm going to come up here to Modify to stop the point command, and miraculously my point reappears. Don't know why it does that, slightly annoying, but have a little faith. Now I'm going to pick this point to set it as the current work plane. So left clicking on it, go back to my reference line, and I'm making sure that Draw on Work Plane is selected. I'm going to come over here and draw a line up. Let's kind of zoom in over here a little bit, just using my middle mouse. We'll go up, let's go up 12 feet. Then we just want to cant out a little bit, and if I zoom out, you can see that it's actually giving me angle dimensions. They're a little far away. There we go. Now we can see it. So we could go out, let's say 25 degrees, and maybe 3 foot 6 and 30 will be fine. And then we'll just go perpendicular to that, maybe up 4 foot 6. And we'll come back parallel a little further than the interior wall, so maybe 5 feet. And then I want this wall, this part of it, to angle out just a little further, and then maybe go down I guess a foot is fine. Now this has to be a closed piece to sweep a closed profile, so I'm just going to close it off by adding 2 lines right here. Okay, now it's kind of interesting because we're sort of drawing where the light is going. We're not actually drawing the walls so much as the volume of the light. So now once we have that, I'm going to select modify, and I'm going to zoom back a little bit. I'm going to pick that profile, hold down the control key, and pick that path. Whoops, control key, pick so they have both selected at the same time. Then I'm going to go to create form, and Revit is just going to decide what to do. So I'm going to click on create form here, and it sweeps that guy all the way around there. Okay, so now we have that profile swept around the edge of that. When we come back, we'll look at it again and then load it into a family and adjust it. All right.